I'm going to get this down as best I can, and it's not happening. It is happening, and it's about the happening that is here. And in case we wanted to end confusion. See, when you see now, it's embedded in the language. Mainly, you can see it in the equations that we spell out what is actually happening. Okay, so there's two here, but then there's possible that there's two in one. Like one of them embodies the other, and it's not the other way around. It's the same as like, well, intelligence. There's a bigger intelligence that creates something, and that's very controversial now because as far as what's here, men and women, and then the question of God, and then who is closer to that. Do you think any one is closer? It's questionable. Um, what I mean is it's questionable that some people have the right math down, that they have the right feeling about it. Maybe uh, can get deeper about that conversation, but wanted to point out it's in the language. It's right there if you in case you were confused. And a lot of things that will end the confusion. A lot of this thing that I found can end the confusion. Sorry, not that it found me. I didn't find it. It found me. I was doing it, and now it's speaking to me more and more. And there was a time where I still kind of am. You can probably see it. It's just a more serious demeanor. And I think Christ was the same way. Even though the universe is God playing, there's a serious problem to face also, and we see it now. As far as that, if we need to address something, these people aren't going to be clowns. You know what I mean? It's not going to be a very sweet-looking picnic. Christ Jesus, was that a sweet picnic that you leave for the kids to drink some Kool-Aid out of and get a cracker over? God, I don't know. Weird tasting, by the way. Um, so to take all of that personal thing out, like, well, wow, somebody's going to take it personally. Pardon me. Oh yeah, everybody needs water. Boy, um, but you don't have to. You can just look and say, look at the math and look at just don't just take your name out of it. You think your name is who you are, and then now you have a personal thing that to protect there, and that's the same as your mind and memory. And it's like, no, what about the truth beyond all of that confusion that we're working with here? And it includes the dynamic of your mind and how all that's working or not working for you. And there's a lot that I need to clean up as far as my last 1,300 and some odd videos, more like 500. I don't know. I'm getting ready for it to change to 1.5K videos, and none of them are going to be more refined and useful than the very ones that I've put out so far, like 3 of them. And I'm putting them in current time, and I'm going to open up a different playlist for these particular ones that I know now is registering in as being something. So what I was trying to talk about is, well, it involves making a breakthrough. I think, well, if anything, I can go somewhere and anywhere in the universe with it as far as the universe. I'm trying to tell you that how that universe means one com, as in common communication, one communication, right? Yeah. And what is that? Well, if you get into a human body, which the universe is 100% human, and you get into one of these, got 5 points here. Cool. Then you have one um, one C. You can say C, like one thing that is here. There's only one reality behind all realities. There's, the truth is the same for everybody. And that's so very controversial. We can clean our language up for sure and say, well, what do you mean? And try and start and pull it apart. And boy, if you don't know what you're talking about, I mean, you can know what you're talking about. And that's where um, some people are here writing books, and they are authors and or authorities. It's something, you look at it, but really it's just an author, and you think you know something enough, write it down enough, and try and get it published enough, and you too can become an author or an authority of something. Really, though, that is like wishy-washy as hell. That's the problem. We have Babylon going on. It's time to break it down. It's time to break it down. And it will, and it can be. And that's why I'm here, I have to get back into meditation more. And so don't worry, just hang tight, hang tough, hang loose, because if that makes sense. Um, because well, I don't know what anybody else can do, but to count on the very few, which is the chosen ones who are going to be getting downloads. And what I understood is that um, it just happens that see, we don't really worry about um, how it's going to happen. The main thing is that you have to take care of your body. That means like do yoga, eat right, and and that includes staying distracted of feeding, getting. See, it's beyond. See, for a chosen one, somebody who's getting downloaded and going to help with untangling or solving or say saving whatever part of the human potential that is here, to know outer space. We are here and we're just going to wake up. There's going to be a time when it gets pretty bad, and then we know what we're supposed to do. We won't be that bad off as, say, the ones who are now. It's part of that, what we see as and consider as destruction and war and stuff is just the distraction once again. And some people will be just rising up and saying, okay, so now that everything's burning, and you see that we're not going to back down. Time to establish our own constitutional rights. Talk about Independence Day. Well, what do you mean? I already made videos about this, and so did you see? I mean, they have a video. Part 1 and 2 and 3 and 5 are probably, pardon me, my neighbors just got, they're there. They're kind of on and off, and it's interesting. Same thing. It's like, well, what's their constitutional rights? People that are non-present, the non-present society. If you're watching my video and you're subscribing, most likely it's because the content about narcissism, but this is very much connected to narcissism. This is what we're talking about. It's like, well, then how does the human aperture end up on the working for the other side, which is to remain in the dark? About what? About the fact that the universe is human, and that's your intellectual properties up there, and there's a way to access a lot of things that, say, are amazing, that we seem to be regressing. There's actually a sign of things that have happened on this planet where it's like, well, see, I look at it, it's like, no, those are 3D printers. How that the pyramids and the structures that they don't show us, but if you look, there are structures on this planet that are just so amazing that it looks like they just flew over a big old outcropping of rocks the size of the Empire State Building. And of course, there's some kind of molecular scientific thing going on with that spaceship that's, in fact, a 3D printer using material that is granite and just, it sectionally makes highly geometrical structures that are beautiful, right? And down to the statues on each side. And what are they doing? Don't show the kids what those statues are doing. Just what human beings are up to. Oh my God, no! Really, it's like, well, what's the problem? Well, you have to be a human to enjoy it. Because what? What? No, it's weird language. It's because pleasure, enjoyment is human. That's what it means. Love doesn't mean terrible experience. It means a great experience. That's just human. Welcome to the universe.